Hello everyone, so today I'm standing under a little cover because it's raining. And I'm with the A team once again for the first time in a couple of years. Consisting of Adrian Bowl and Craig Demouris from Waterfalls of Tasmania. Louise Fairfax is also going to be coming later. We're going to be hiking up the Moonlight Ridge track to a couple of unnamed waterfalls on Moonlight Creek and Many Falls Creek. One of which I've been to before, and it's pretty impressive. And it's been raining a bit, so hopefully they should be flowing alright. But basically there's going to be an overnight walk, staying up on Moonlight Ridge and then back down tomorrow. So probably make this a two-part video, but we'll see how we go. And I'll see you further up there. So basically we're going to be hiking up this track, which is going to ascend about 500 metres to the Moonlight Ridge Plateau. Right now it's just flat and easy, because it's just the family track to Mystery Creek. But yeah, you can see Craig ahead of me there, ploughing along. And yeah, so we'll get up the plateau. We might set up camp depending whether it's raining. And then we're going to head down to the right side, which is Moonlight Creek, and do that falls today, which should be good. We haven't done that one before, so not really sure what to expect, but you'll see what we find, whether that be good, bad or ugly. Yeah. Apologies for the film being very dark as well, because it's quite dim this morning. It's pretty early still. So I've gone like 20 minutes maybe, and we've come to this quarry here where the track heads off that way to Mystery Creek Cave, which is just a short day walk. There the sign says we're going up that way to the Southern Ranges, and we're about to start the ascent. It's been pretty easy so far. It's along flat terrain, but that's just about over. So I'll see you further up there. Well, it's been pretty hard going, but we've made it up the top of Moonlight Ridge. We haven't filmed since the start of the walk really, because it's just been pretty wet and miserable. We've done 500, 600, maybe 700 metres of climbing, in about 6k's horizontally. There's not really any views today. Up here, as you can see, it's pretty wet and miserable, but we're up on Moonlight Ridge now. We head that way a couple more k's and we get to the campsite, and that's where we're going to head off towards the falls. So I'll see you further along. It's meant to clear up later, so hopefully that actually happens, because it's not amazing here right now. Well, we're pretty much at the headwaters of the Moonlight Creek now, and it's flowing pretty well, as you can see, given we're basically right up at its source. The sun's coming out now. It's actually really pretty out. Some nice views over to Hill 1. The campsite is just a little bit further up the creek, and then we're gonna set up tent and we're gonna head back down that way to the falls, which are a few hundred metres downstream. But yeah, it's actually becoming a nice enough day out after a fairly miserable start. Yeah, so I'll give you a look at the campsite and then be on our way to the falls. Right, so we're at the campsite on Moonlight Creek here. I've been here for a while. I nearly died of hypothermia and couldn't set up my tent, so that was a really great time of it. But we've got Craig's tent and Adrian's tent, which is where I've been warming up in. It's a nice little spot here right next to the creek. The falls are basically in a straight line that way, so we're going to try and head off in a straight line and get to them. There's meant to be sort of two sections to it according to list maps. So the upper one shouldn't be too hard to get to, and then might be a bit more of a challenge getting to the base of the lower one, but we have all afternoon, so we'll give it a crack and see how we go. Hasn't been too scrubby so far, not as bad as I expected, but you can see all these sort of burnt trees everywhere. Many Falls Creek is sort of like this sort of thing as you're heading towards it, but significantly worse. So it's always slightly concerned that it might end up like that a bit further down, but so far it's not too bad. It's about a kilometre's walk as the crow flies from the campsite to the falls. We've done a little bit of progress so far. Starting to get some nice views into Moonlight Flats, which are way down there. But the falls are just, the top falls are just in there, I reckon, and then the lower falls are just a little bit further down. We've only taken about half an hour to get here. Probably gone about a kilometre, including all the wandering around. So yeah, I'll probably see you at the upper falls, which I have a feeling is going to be more of a cascade, but should still be nice. But anyway, pretty close to it anyway. Well, I'm at the top of the upper falls on Moonlight Creek, and you can see Adrian there taking a photo of me. Then as I pan down, it's not a bad little drop there by the looks of it. So that'll be nice when we can get down to there. The creek is really pumping, much better than I expected, which is great for now, and also a great sign for Many Falls Creek tomorrow. But yeah, I'll see you when we get down to the base of that one, and then it's not too much further on to the main falls. Well, we made it to the base of the very, very impressive upper Moonlight Falls. Much nicer than expected. Quite wide. Plunges over a very white cliff. It's unusual that the water is probably less white than the rock, but it would be in the order of 5-6 metres high, this lower section, but probably looking at 10-15 metres including the upper drops. Very, very nice. This is an enormous looking waterfall. You can see down the Moonlight Flats, it's at least 50 metres down. Seriously epic. Now we've got to find a way down there, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, we've unfortunately been defeated by some of the worst scrub you're ever likely to find. If you have a look around here, you get some idea. There's not a whole lot of room to move. However, as a consolation prize, we've at least found this little cliff edge spot. You can peer out and get some sort of view of the falls. Nice little view down to the valley as well. So it's ultimately a bit of a disappointment, but the upper falls was nice, and we have at least something to show from the main falls, which are enormous. If you were at the bottom, they'd be in the mix for the top 10 of Tassie, I reckon, because it's a big, big waterfall. Well, it's been a mixed bag on day one. Obviously, we got to the waterfalls. They were much more impressive than expected, but we couldn't really get a great view of them. Even so, it's definitely been worth the effort, because the views from up here are bloody spectacular. It's probably going to be it for today's video. Tomorrow should hopefully be more successful. Many Falls Creek should be pumping. So yeah, I'll see you in part 2 of this video. Hopefully we survive the night. If we do, I'm sure you'll see part 2 pretty soon.